On the last exciting episode of AxoniusRex, we followed the story of a Male Majin as he's training with Universe 11's Pride Troopers with the new recruit, the female human, as they try and advance their skills for the Tournament of Power. In the future, where Trunks witnesses the death of Gohan by the hand of 17 and 18, these events would lead up to him going back in time and saving Gohan's life. Zamasu would then trade bodies with Gohan instead of Goku, giving birth to Gohan Black. The Male Majin and female human go to this corrupted timeline to fix the anomaly. Letting her test her skills after the training that she's just been through with the other Pride Troopers, he lets her take the lead and sees what she can do until Timebreaker Gohan drops in and the battle heats up. An intense battle erupted between the forces of good and evil until Timebreaker Gohan knocked our female human to the floor. Toppo and Dispo, the two other Pride Troopers of Universe 11, dropped in and then entered this fight against the Timebreaker and Gohan Black. Using their teamwork as Pride Troopers, they start to show us why they are the team to be feared in the Tournament of Power. Toppo, Dispo, and the Male Majin all have their various strengths and weaknesses, and they all come together in a beautiful synergy of teamwork and destruction. The Male Majin gets rid of Gohan Black just as the female human is waking up. The other Pride Troopers hang back and let her take on this foe by herself, as she has a deep connection to this enemy. He is the one that killed her father from the future. Her strength amplified, her focus sharpened, pinpointed towards this Timebreaker. She uses all of her strength and annihilates him with a big bang Kamehameha. The Male Majin flies back to KonTon City to tell the Supreme Kai of time, but the city is eerily quiet. Fu and Deborah are outside the Time Nest and are about to set their dastardly plan in motion. The Namekian, after waking up, spots Deborah and heads straight for him with furious intent. Deborah waits on the Dragonball altar for the Namekian for a father-son standoff. 8 of the most powerful supervillains drop down in a big ring around KonTon City. One by one they charge their supervillain energy. Jiren, Fusamasu, Broly, Omega Shenron, Kid Buu, Janemba, Golden Frieza, and Perfect Cell. Unleashing their combined supervillain energy resurrects the demon Hirudegarn. Their master plan enacted and their biggest piece in play. The supervillains take up the stance around KonTon City in preparation for the heroes returning from various battles. This is no normal battle. This is nothing short of a supervillain invasion. Hirudegarn resurrected! KonTon City's greatest threat to date is unleashed upon its citizens. Piccolo, Yamcha, and Tien try to stop this massive beast before it can do serious damage to the city. Piccolo gets thrown around like a toy, Tien gets blasted in the face, and Yamcha is smashed in the face by a flying boulder. The Great Saiyaman 1 and 2 try to distract Hirudegarn and lure him away from the center of the city to try and save some more lives. Hirudegarn takes the bait and is now being lured away from the citizens of KonTon City. A Male Majin and female human are about to enter their fight with 2 various supervillains. Perfect Cell and the Male Majin start a glorious battle, while the female human tries to fend off against Fusamasu. A cataclysmic battle is erupting between the Male Majin and Cell. Jiren, standing, watching, flies up and then turns his attention to Deborah, the Dragonball altar. Meanwhile, the Male Majin is having a furious titanic clash of power with Cell. The strength of this amped up, overflowing with dark energy Cell is giving our Male Majin, despite his enormous reserves of ki, a run for his money. Being unneeded at the altar, Jiren then focuses back on this fight. Despite the strength of this supervillain, the Male Majin's endless years of battle experience and enormous reserves of ki, strength and stamina are starting to turn the tables in this battle against this amped up supervillain. Unleashing his hidden power, he puts all of his strength into play to try and get rid of this supervillain as quickly as possible. Trying to set up the opportune moment, he finally catches Cell off guard and slams him down to the ground, hitting him in the back of the head with a milky cannon, dispatching him for good. Jiren has seen enough. The Male Majin and female human winning their battles think the battle is now over. But they are wrong as Jiren flies in and takes them both on head on, smashing them both into the floor. His strikes are the heaviest they've ever felt. He's the fastest they've ever fought against. His strength, speed and reflexes are on a whole nother level. Their only hope is to utilise their teamwork as best as possible against this formidable opponent who is absolutely devastating both of them. Any confrontation with this immensely powerful supervillain is doomed to fail. Their teamwork is the only thing keeping them alive. Unable to utilise their teamwork fully, they are unable to land a definitive strike, and Jiren picks them apart one by one. Supervillain Jiren's strength is unfathomable and his ki emanates from his body throughout the battle, exploding outwards as the battle continues. This exposes a momentary weakness and they can start to monopolise on this floor, until Jiren powers up more and then destroys both of them with immense strength and precision. The male Majin is sent hurling to the floor after a power rush, and the female human is devastated and is awari'd from the floor. Jiren's uncontainable, immense strength is radiating from his body, overflowing, reaching new heights. The Namekian is fighting off against Deborah at the Dragonball altar while the male Majin and female human get up and snap out of their daze. This battle is not over. They re-enter the fight against Jiren and try to use one last final attack to end this once and for all. They may be battered, bruised and beaten, but this is not the time for them to give up. Using their teamwork together, they finally catch Jiren off guard, and then they set him up to be devastated by their last, final, ultimate move, a Jaw Super Kamehameha that destroys Jiren once and for all. Dropping down, the male Majin uses an energy zone and starts to heal both of them before the oncoming battle against Hirudegarn. Meanwhile, in the centre of KonTon City, the female Majin and Majin Buu are about to spring their trap against Hirudegarn. The male Majin and female human rush in to aid a hand in this endeavour. The Freezer Race character and Cooler drop in at the exact right moment, and there, the counterattack begins. The female Majin and Majin Buu get Hirudegarn onto the floor, setting him up to be annihilated by the other fighters. The Freezer Race character and Cooler launch a Jaw Supernova Cooler into his back, while the female human and male Majin use their last Jaw Super Kamehameha to try and weaken him further. Across KonTon City, Vegeta and the male Saiyan charge up a Jaw Super Gallic Gun and launch it in Hirudegarn's side. Finally, the female human converts Tapion's sword to the Sword of Hope, plunging it deep within Hirudegarn, defeating him where he stands. And like that, the battle is over. Zeno's guards and Zeno himself drop down into KonTon City. With one wave of his finger, he erases Hirudegarn and the downed Deborah at the top of the Dragonball altar, and sets KonTon City back to the way it was before the demon Hirudegarn's resurrection. Beaming down into the centre of the city, he's going to tell everyone why he has come. The waiting is finally over. The 8 competing universes are about to enter the most magnificent, the most anticipated, the most feared Tournament of Power. Let's take a look at the stat points. First for the QQ Bang, it's a direct mirror of Lightheart Suit's clothing, giving 5 in health, ki and stamina. The Super Soul is Watch Your Tongue, which when you succeed in doing a perfect block restores a bit of your ki and a bit of your stamina, and the Limit Burst gives you auto perfect block. Very, very useful. Now for that attribute point, it's 125 will go into your health for 3 full health bars, 125 will go into your ki for 3 extra bars, and 125 will go into your stamina for 3 extra bars. As for your partner, you'll be using the female human build number 6, using Jaw Kamehameha, and for the full build, wait for next week. Now let's look at the super moves! Divinity Unleashed will be your charging move to allow for light speed ki regen while attacking in battle, and it also looks really, really cool. Your next move is Milky Cannon, a move that you can use offensively or a move that you can use tactically to litter the battlefield with various mines that will explode when enemies go near them. Your next super move is Super Drain, that will grab the enemy and steal some of their stamina. Pretty good for keeping your stamina high and theirs pretty low. Use this after a stamina break or after you rush in and do a quick hit that knocks them off balance. Your next move is Godbreaker, a move that reacts to all incoming physical damage with a really strong Ki Blast to the face. Amazing for taking care of dash spammers. Your Awoken skill is Potential Unleashed for an even boost to all skills. Your first ultimate is Energy Zone, a move that lays down a symbol on the floor, teleports into it, and recovers a large portion of your health and any health of any ally in the immediate area. And your second ultimate is your finishing move, Dual Super Kamehameha. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it never misses once the initial attack hits. Use the female human, build number 6, as your partner so that you can add this move onto their skill roster, or you can use Goku if you don't feel like it. And finally, your evasive is Angry Shout to let out a massive scream to push away attackers in all directions that also saves you from incoming damage. Now it's time for the damage test! Starting things off, Milky Cannon does 2,285 damage. Super Drain only does 685 damage. Godbreaker will do a much better 2,742 damage. Your full light combo chain takes a little while to finish, but it will do 2,918 damage. Your full heavy combo chain will do 3,082 damage. And finally, your full mixed combo chain, your heavy light heavy light heavy, will do 3,719 damage. Here is the first super damage combo, utilizing a rush in mixed extended stamina break combination, followed by a Milky Cannon, a dash in, a light combination, and a vanishing Milky Cannon we're going to call Purple Pinball. And the final super damage combo is going to be called Tag You're It, which utilizes an extended stamina break combination after a knockback dash in, a super drain, a dragon dash, a vanish, and a Milky Cannon will do a pretty nice 8,058 damage. This has been my character build for my level 99 stat-based Male Majin character. The waiting is finally over, and the largest tournament in the multiverse's history is about to unfold. Who will be erased and who will be saved? Find out on the next exciting episode of AxoniusRex.